What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Paul's Best Podcast, the podcast that is positivity, the podcast where we talk about only the very best. You guys know it. If you're looking for negativity and dumb shit, you are in the wrong place. But if you're looking for the best of something, sit back.
If you're looking for positivity and dumb shit.
Yeah, looking for yeah, it's all dumb, but if you're looking for positivity and dumb, my guest today is a hilarious comedian, somebody that, we came up together in the New York comedy scene for many, many years. He is back in New York City. Pete Lee is here. Thank you so much for being here, buddy.
Dude, thank you so much. I just got out of the subway. We were talking about before we started rolling, like gaining and losing weight. I feel like I feel that subway, like it felt like I was in India for the last 45 minutes. And so if for the first part of this podcast I'm sweating a little bit, man,
it's all good.
It's
man.
Dude, that I've definitely lost 5 pounds of water weight just coming here.
Dude, end of July, New York City subway.
Oh
That's at least you're gonna lose a couple. You definitely lost from like your last 8 stops. You probably lost half a pound. Dead seriously.
Absolutely. And when we were waiting on the it was one of those things where we got down there. I live in Columbus Circle, and so I'm only like 2 stops away from here, or 1 on the express train. And my girlfriend and I were on the subway platform, and the train just didn't come for like 10 minutes. And she's like, I'm gonna tell you a story to distract you. And I was like, I swear it was like 120 degrees down there. And it's so funny. Like think about this day. Like you're one of my favorite people, and we're in this cool studio.
I appreciate you.
And I'm hungover because I went out and drank with an NFL legend last night.
Which you have to.
Yeah, you have to. And the worst part of my day was I was a little hot on a subway platform. And we get out, and like you can just see, like you see people that like women walking to lunch, and they have like their dress clothes and then their athletic shoes, and you know that they're just miserable, and they get 45 minutes to not be miserable. And I like today sucked for 10 minutes on that subway platform.
Yeah, I know. but now
we're talking about positivity.
But now you're cool.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Right, you got a drink.
I got a Liquid Death.
You got a Liquid
Ting.
Death. Yeah.
I'm part of the
part owner.
I'm part owner, and I love Liquid Death. Murder Your Thirst. I'm also one of their brand ambassadors. But yeah, it's I love it. I named this flavor Cherry Obituary. Talk about things that you love.
That's insane.
And then I named Squeeze to Death. So an orange beverage, you can't have the name orange in it, because it implies orange juice, or like that there's.
Oh, is that
juice in
right?
it. Yeah, so my brand, my company name is Snuggle Storm Productions, and so I was like, "What about like snuggling? Like it's Squeeze to Death." So and I wanted to name Cherry Obituary Chernobyl, but you're not gonna believe this. There's still too many people dying from the fallout from it.
That's
and
insane.
This is positivity though. They're like so. my second choice was Cherry Obituary, and
that's a good one.
Yeah, so it's good. Yeah.
It's amazing how like so many things in the past ruined things for now. Like you're right, right. You're just like, wait, that was so long ago. I can't say that word.
Yeah, Chernobyl feels like, but I think it's like generational. Like when that radiation gets in you, I think that.
I know. Yeah, that is true.
And I know, like we definitely dehumanize Russia, but yeah, like think about how bad they've had it. They have radiation in them. They're waiting in the bread line,
I know.
They could just like put the bread in their hand and toast it.
Just go outside with it. Just be like,
just sizzle.
So you, like we always saw each other in New York, man. Super. Like what I like about having comedians like you on here. Oh, by the way, before I get into
what do you mean comedians like me?
Yeah, right. Comedians like you, meaning we've been in this
forever.
Like we've been in this forever. Like it's like you're not talking to somebody that is like. And again, not against TikTokers, not against YouTubers, but you're talking to somebody that has been slugging it out, that has been on all the auditions. I think I remember being on like the audition line with you for like Last Comic Standing at Gotham, dude.
Yes, yeah, like waiting in that yellow hallway, which is such a funny. Yeah, I remember. Like I think we were standing together when Amy Schumer came out and she was like, "I got it," and like I, we're all friends, and I knew her, and I was really happy for her. And in my brain, I was like, oh, well, if she got it, then any of us can get it,
right?
And not realizing like, no, like I wasn't.
Yeah, because we're young, so we're just like, oh, funny matters.
Yeah, funny matters, and this is gonna be great. And
not realizing they're casting a television show.
Yeah, and then I remember going in there. That was wasn't that the season where Natasha Leggero and Geraldo?
Yeah, rest his soul.
That was such a wild audition. Because Geraldo was somebody that we all respected, and like a real comics comic.
Yeah.
And then Last Comic Standing, we were always kind of like, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do it?
Exactly.
And but then going in there, he added such legitimacy that I'm like, God, I'm going to do these 2 minutes of jokes to no crowd. And Natasha and Geraldo, and I don't even know who the other judge was that season.
It was Andy Kindler.
Oh, and Kindler, yeah.
It was Andy Kindler, Natasha, and I remember like those judges made people go, okay, maybe this isn't just a casting call, maybe this isn't just a TV show. But I remember being like, I remember Natasha Leggero, I remember when I actually had a decent audition, but she was like, so wait, so you guys would say no? Yeah, so then it's like 3 no's. It's 3 no's. And like emphasized it for the show.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like and I remember leaving there and I was just going like, why did I do this?
Yeah, it was funny because I made it to the semifinals the next season, and I auditioned in Minneapolis instead of New York. I was living in New York, and I just happened to be like in the Midwest for a college tour, and they were just so much nicer there, and and the competition was great. Like people came from all over the Midwest, but I made it to Vegas, and I remember working at Governors in Long Island with Louie right before I went out, and like I was running my 5 that I was gonna do at the Paris Ballroom in Vegas, and I was just it was the most serious thing that I had ever done in my career. And now looking back on it, I'm like what was I like? I should have just gone there and done it. Whatever. But the Louie sat me down and he goes, hey, you're doing Last Comic Standing and it's on NBC. And this is still when people watch television. He goes, but you're really doing Star Search. And he goes, you're doing a shitty show. And I remember like it broke my heart in a way, but it made me laugh so hard. He's like, it's a shitty show, Pete. Yeah. And he goes, and you're not gonna move on from here. Yeah. And he goes, and I go, well, you think the set's bad? And he goes, no, your set's great. He goes, that's why it's not gonna work. He goes, it's a shitty show, and your set is great. And he goes, it's just going to be bad, but he goes, do me one favor. When you get off stage, there's going to be a camera, and there's going to be a lady that wants to interview you because you're a loser. And he goes, you don't have to do that. And he goes, just say no, and then just walk out of the building.
Yeah.
And I remember they had this comedian named Fern from England, and I got off stage after losing, and she's like, can I talk to you? And I was like, no. And I think that might have been the funniest word that I've ever just said. Like,
it's the best.
Just no. And I remember the producers were like, no, Pete, you have to be like, it's in your contract. And I was like, it's not in any contract, and it wasn't.
Did you ever hear this story? Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
But they're like, what, like Last Comic Standing contract? But I also, let me say what you're gonna say.
No, well, I was just gonna talk about like those shows, how those shows really, like any contest show, even if you win, there's actually a curse to that, because if you win that, then all of a sudden now you're the 2009 winner of this, and now it's like 2026 and they're bringing that up, and it's like, what somebody said to me a long time ago, contest shows there's really no winning. There could be a short-term win that feels good and you go on a run, but then it doesn't really work. But what I was gonna say was, and listen, it's good for quick money. It's good for that first 2-year tour. I get that. But did you ever hear what Patrice O'Neal did at the Apollo?
No,
dude, it's incredible.
I would love any Patrice story. I love him. He's not. I don't know where he went, but
no. God rest his soul. One of the greatest. Patrice O'Neal. Apparently, he was at the Apollo, and you obviously know the risk of getting booed.
Yeah.
And if you get booed and it gets contagious, they come out and they do the whole thing. They give you a hook, like a guy dances you off. I mean, it's completely humiliating, which they did to Chappelle at 15. So he talks about who does that to a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
But apparently, Patrice was smart enough to realize that they're airing it, right? And if they can't air it if you do certain things. So as he's getting booed off, he just starts going, "Fuck you, dumb motherfucker," and he just starts cursing them out, saying it, and they couldn't air it. So nobody saw the rejection because he knew, he was smart enough to know, oh, the people that get booed off, they just put their head down and walk off, and it's all entertainment. I'm going to tell these people to go fuck themselves. I'm going to curse, and he just lost it on him. You dumb motherfucker, and this and that, and they couldn't air it. How amazing is that?
That is so smart. That is so smart.
It's brilliant to even think like that.
It's also, I mean, Patrice had so many ideas. Like when you listen to his stand-up, that you're like, oh my God, like that's so simple and so brilliant.
Simple.
And I got to meet him when I did Montreal. Montreal just happened, you know.
Yeah.
And like it's such a funny, Montreal's such a funny thing that like Montreal happens, and if you're a part of it, you're like hooray, and if you're not a part of it at any level, you're like but it doesn't matter. Like nobody's career has been made from it since 1992.
Yeah.
And it's a fun festival, and you go there and you goof off, but. So I went there for New Faces in 2005, I believe.
Okay.
And I get in the van, and this is a Cat Williams story, by the way. So I get in the van, and Cat Williams is just dressed like Cat Williams, like he's like a glitter pimp, and
in the van going to a gig.
Yeah, and Robbie Pra, who's now the head of Netflix
yeah.
comedy, was the van driver in this year.
Wow,
and so it's
okay.
me, Robbie Pra.
So what year is 05?
2005.
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
And so I'm in the van, and I was like, and I didn't know who Cat Williams was, and like Cat Williams, he was doing his own like gala at the venue, but he went there to watch New Faces because he just wanted to see the venue and stuff like that. And people, like I'm lucky enough to have gotten to talk to him a few times. People say like this and that, and I've read 19,000 books or whatever. They kind of make fun of him, but he's meticulous, and he's such a great artist, and he's so smart. And he went there to watch New Faces to scope out the scene. Well, I'm in the van, and it's just me and him, and I was like, hi, I'm Pete, and he's like, you don't know me, do you, Pete? And I was like, no, I don't. And Robbie was kind of like laughing. And Robbie's like, this is Cat Williams, one of the greatest comedians. And I just didn't know him. Like, if you don't know, you don't know. And
yeah, sure.
And I always say like, you can't have a new fan if somebody knew you. So and like I said that, it's such a Bill Lee, my dad, that well, you can't have a new fan if you already knew the person. And Cat Williams goes, are you nervous, Pete? And I was like, oh yeah. I go, but I always look like this. And I was like, this is kind of my steady state. And he goes, who do you have with you supporting you at the festival? And I go, well, my manager, it was Rick Dorfman at the time. Mike Birbiglia had a big gala, so he had to go do that. And then I didn't have agents, and he goes, so you don't have anyone supporting you? And I was like, no. And he goes, you're gonna get in that green room, and everybody's gonna have their agents and their managers. And he goes, how about I'll be your friend? And I was like, so I didn't realize that I just got friended by like one of the biggest pit bulls in comedy, and he was just so kind and so gentle.
Yes.
And he's like, how do you feel about your set? And he was kind of running through it, and I realized instantly just how brilliant he was, and that also like I just had this inkling. And it was kind of the way that Robbie said Cat Williams. That I'm like, I'm gonna have the coolest person with me in the green room, and I walked in there, and everybody had their their person from Gersh and CA and whatever, and I walk in with Cat Williams, and I was like, hey everybody, so this is my friend Cat Williams, and it was like a record scratch, like what the hell, and I was the most intimidating person in that green room because the Cat. Well, then Cat's standing in the back, and I see that he's standing with Patrice, and like when you can just see the silhouette, and so Patrice must have come to hang out with him, and so Patrice is watching my New Faces set, and the crowd was not particularly good that night, and I just hit him in that middle spot, that slipstream, and I killed, and I see Patrice and Cat laughing, and of course I knew who Patrice is, and then I'm like, man, my new friend who's intimidating is laughing.
Yeah.
So then I go to the back of the room, and I just kind of stand with Cat and Patrice, and I was like, Patrice, it's an honor, and he said I was funny, and I was like, and then Robert Kelly was there, and he goes, if he says you're funny, stupid, it means he hates you. Like if he's nice, he hates you. I was like, oh, okay. And
that's such a Bobby.
It's such a Bobby thing.
It's such a Bobby thing.
It's such a Bobby thing to say. And Patrice didn't hear that at the time. And then Cat Williams, he goes right now. He goes you had the set of the night. He goes, you're walking out with us. And I go, but shouldn't I say hi to everybody? And he goes, no. He goes, you do that set. He goes, you fucking leave. And I was like, okay. So I just walk out with him and Patrice and Bobby. And then I had one of those digital cameras, like, you know, like the Sony, like you turn it on and it go, boop, 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 and then the lens would go and then a song would play.
Yeah.
It was humiliating. And I was like, hey, Patrice, is there any way that I could get a picture with you? And Bobby goes, I'm not taking that picture. He hates you. That's why he said that he likes you. And Patrice goes, no. And I'm not going to use the words he used. He goes, I
think I could use my imagination.
Yeah. He goes, no, this bleep knows exactly what's bleep about him. Basically meaning like this dude knows exactly what's wrong with him. And my whole set was about what's wrong with me and how I'm just stupid kind and, you know, and kind of an idiot in that way. And then Robert refused to take the picture. So the picture is taken by Cat Williams. And I wish that I had a picture with all three of them.
That's so great.
But it's so funny that I have this picture and Patrice is kind of sitting in the van and then we got that pic. But it was just such a wild turn of events.
Because what happens in this business is a lot of things that you think about somebody and then you actually meet them. I had the pleasure a couple years ago, 2 years ago, I was at the Netflix as a Joke Festival in LA and I was at the golf event. I was at the golf event at the Riviera. And it's crazy, dude. Everybody who's like playing and you know, Cat Williams is playing and like people are on like the driving range before you go out and play 18 and like just Will Ferrell's standing there and all these people. And by the way, shout out Will Ferrell. This is Will Ferrell's network.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Big Money Players.
Oh,
but like
dude.
Will Ferrell's playing and this one's playing and you see an NBA player and you see an actor and all of a sudden like I'm walking and it's just like me and Cat Williams walking down to the range. And I started to talk to him, and I was just, hey, man, like I just was like, I got to tell you, dude, and he was so soft-spoken, and then he goes, Paul Virzi, And I don't know, because my special had just come out on Netflix.
Yeah.
But, like, he was just so kind, soft-spoken, cool, and you can tell, like, that there is such a realness and a genuineness with him.
Yeah.
And it was the same when I met Patrice, because when I met Patrice, I had my guard up ready to go at him because
of all the stories.
But not only that, because that was at the time where Burr had put me on.
Yeah.
And when Burr put me on, believe it or not, what people don't understand is like when a guy like that puts you on, there's a target on your back.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, oh, Bill Burr thinks this guy's funny. It was like, oh, he better prove it. Oh, they could be getting that because of the thing. Meanwhile, they just saw us, right? Whoever saw you, they just saw us and goes, oh, dude, this dude is funny. But to the public eye, it's that guy. It could almost be a double-edged sword.
You're so right.
Yeah, and Patrice and him had a beef. A big thing happened with Opie and Anthony. And now all of a sudden I'm going in with Patrice. And so my mind is like, that's my friend who put me on. Like if this guy says anything, fuck this guy. And then it's just this soft and same thing. The host did not do well and I did well. And Patrice kind of gave me a thumbs up and this approval when we talked. But like this business is everything that you think it's so not.
It's so not. And it's wild. Like and Patrice couldn't have been kinder. And I got to interact with him a bunch of times and he was like soft spoken and kind and never went after me. But like at the cellar table, it's funny because like you sit with Keith and he still has it. And like, but like I've been at a table with like Norton and Voss and Keith like now, and they still have it. Like they'll still give you that beat down, but I think it's an honor, and also like to have the best people point out what's wrong with you or your shirt or whatever. Like my strategy from the get go was because I would be laughing so hard at what they were saying to me, I couldn't even get offended by it. And the idea of going to that table originally was like terrifying. Like oh, Patrice is gonna take you apart. And Patrice never took me apart, but how great would that have been? Like to have a brilliant mind like that,
right?
Yeah, like and I hate to say a name, but like I was talking to Mike Birbiglia, and maybe the vibe was different, but Mike was like I almost want to do it. This table is terrifying to me. That's not even Mike Birbiglia, but I see to have my hair messed up. But he was like, this table used to be terrifying, and maybe I don't have an accurate depiction of it. But I remember when I got there, it still was a little terrifying, and people would they'd take the piss out of me, and it was just I was laughing so hard at what they were saying to me that I couldn't be offended because it just was so funny. Like one time, Yamanika was like, sorry, I can't talk because I just ate an edible, and Rich Ross goes, was it a meatloaf? And and by the way, Yamanika looks great. She's fit as hell now.
Yeah.
But like this was 2013 Yam or 2014, but it was like it was so fun. Like it was just so funny. Or I think it was 2017. Anyway, years matter. But yeah, I imagine that those guys used to sit together and Patrice used to pick them apart, and they did it because it was fun.
Yeah.
And so I always imagine that time being fun and not scary.
And I also feel like if they ignore you and don't do that,
Yeah.
then there is an issue.
Yeah.
You know, I remember one time with Norton, all those guys, all that clique liked me, right? But for some reason, Norton wouldn't talk to me. And then I actually, it was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
It was like Voss was cool with me, and Nick DiPaolo liked me, and Patrice was cool with me, and Bobby really embraced me.
Yeah.
So that whole group, you know, and of course Bill and all these people. And then for some reason, every time I'd be around Norton, it wouldn't. And then finally, I talked to him about it.
Oh.
And like on a pod, he invited me on a pod. And
Oh,
I'm
nice.
Like, well, how did he invite me on a pod? And then finally I brought it
doesn't
up,
like
and
you.
he goes, no, he goes, it was me. He goes, it was my insecurity. Like it was like, and I'm just going like, what we don't realize is, and then what we don't realize is that other people have the shit in their head.
Yeah.
You know, but then though there's a flip side to what we're talking about, and the flip side is somebody you think is going to be great.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that person's a sweetheart. I could tell by their act. I could tell when I saw them on TV, that person's going to be cool. And then you meet that person, and they're kind of a cold dickhead, and you're going like, huh.
Yeah.
It's way different. You would have thought the Patrice O'Neals of the world, rest his soul, or you would have probably been like, if somebody knew Cat Williams, you'd be like, oh, what's that going to be? And it's like, no, they're great. Then you see somebody that you think is warm, and you go, oh man, they got demons. They're not happy.
Yeah.
You know, whoa.
Yeah. What is that? I have a couple things to say about that. So Rocky Dale Davis was like his first time at the stand, and I had seen him met him on the road or something like that, and it was one of those times where, you know, when you run in, you kind of check in at the table, you see how the crowd is, or you talk to the other comics. Like back in the day at the stand, it was Adele, and so you'd be like, Adele, I'm here, and then she'd be like, you got to get downstairs, and so right after you got to get downstairs, Rocky was like, hey Pete, and he's in New York, and he, you know, it's intimidating, and and I was kind of his friend anchor there, and I was like, yeah, Rocky, I gotta go. And but to him in that moment, I might as well have said like, Rocky, fuck you, you don't matter to me. And then I remember he was like waiting for me kind of at the other side, and I went through the back sound room to the kitchen. To just like, I don't know, have a cold water in that little alleyway or something like that.
Yeah.
And the next time I saw him, he was like, dude, that hurt my feelings so bad. And he's like, everybody's like, oh, he's the friendliest guy. And he's like, you were such a dick to me. And I explained to him the situation. And like, it maybe took a year for him to not go, you're a dick. And we worked, you know, Cellar Vegas together a bunch.
Yeah.
And now he's a very good friend. So I was that guy. Like, I was the guy that everybody that says is nice, and then I was a dick.
And you're so funny because you're so nice, and people say that I'm nice. And then I've had young comedians go, yeah, man, you just look like when you came into the club, like you didn't want to be bothered. One person was like, I remember Alexis Guerrero, I drove him from one, I remember the stand had the standing room in Long Island City.
Yeah.
So I drove.
That room we had to do.
That was so hard. And it was like, finally, you just got to tell Patrick, dude, I just can't do it. So it was this tiny little small room, and the stand where you stood on stage was so weird. It just didn't fit for comedy, but we did it. And Alexis was like, hey, man, I got to get to the city. I was like, I'll drive you. And when we were driving, I was like, man, you're a cool dude. Like, no problem. And he's like, oh, really? He's like, dude, that's good to hear. I go, why? He's like, oh, because you're clearly a tough nut to crack. And I go, what are you talking about? Like, I couldn't be. And he's like, dude, he's like, you got this thing. And I found out from some younger comics that like, but what they didn't realize was I wanted to do my set and go home to my family. It had nothing to do. It literally had nothing to do with them. So like if I was standing there privately, it's like when you said you wanted your water to be in the alleyway.
Yeah.
It's like to just wait. It's like for me, I'm at this club. My set's I got to be on stage in about 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I have an hour plus drive to get home to my family. I got little ones at home. So my mind is there. But to these young comics, it means, you know, and I always treat people like in an interaction. And me and you were kind of in a way where it's like, we're nice.
I guarantee that if you had the stand security footage with me and Rocky Dale Davis that night, I swear I was like, Rocky, I got to run downstairs. I'll be back. Or, you know, like I there's no way I would have been like, Rocky, I don't even know. I honestly, like when I have auditions and I have to be mean, it's so hard.
It would be funny if they taped it back.
Oh, yeah.
And you were mean.
Oh,
it was just like you were just like, Rocky, how many times do I got to tell you? Okay, yes, welcome to New York. I got to go on stage.
Welcome to New York, Rocky. Nut tap. I backhand nut tap him. And somehow on my way there, I go back to the bathroom and give him a swirly in the toilet, and then throw him in a trash can like a freshman.
Well, here's just hazing him. Here's how nice you are, and then we got to get into our best of.
Oh, yeah.
But when the Knicks won that game, you saw me on the street. Do you remember outside the stand?
Yeah.
And you who you on the phone with? And I was like, I'm on the phone with my son. And you were just like, your dad's the best. This that. And I was just like, we were like, so happy that the Knicks won. It was incredible.
Yeah.
But Pete and I spoke about what we were going to talk about, and you guys know sometimes when we do the show, it could take either the guest has it locked and loaded. Sometimes we got to talk about it, but you hit one that we haven't done, and I wanted to make sure that I did it with somebody with this one that has experience. And when you told me how much experience you have, Pete was telling me when he's not doing stand-up or if he's off for a while, he likes to go to shows. Not only shows, music, concerts. And I was like, dude, we haven't done concerts. We've done eras of music, but as far as being at a concert.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to give you the floor to start. What would you say in all of your years? I think I'm in my 40s.
Yeah.
You're in your 40s?
I'm 48, yeah.
Okay, so we're almost at the same age.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. In all of the, from high school to college to adult till right to this day, when I would say, if I was to say to you, best concert you've ever been to, as far as like, I don't know if that could ever be topped, what would you say?
Well, hands down, Ozzy's last show in Birmingham.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
That's a big one, dude.
Dude, it was the best show I've ever seen. And imagine all the people that flew in for it. So they would do, like, each band got I think they got like a 15-minute set or something like that. And they had like a revolving stage, like a Lazy Susan. So when one band would be playing, the other one would be setting up on the other side.
Okay.
And it's the first concert I've ever been to, like a music festival, where it was actually running early because nobody wanted to. They didn't want to disappoint Ozzy, and so imagine like. Pantera's there, Metallica. One of my best friends is Justin Chancellor, the bass player in Tool.
Okay.
And so between Joe Coy, Joe Coy got me like a backstage wristband. Also, like we just drove in and parked with.
So you were backstage.
We were
you weren't
backstage,
just watching it.
We were backstage, and I can show you a picture of it, or like I don't know if they want to put it up in the post.
Sure.
But so there's a picture of me just like rocked out. With all my I had like 2 lanyards and like 3 wristbands, and then Joe Coy's one got me even more. But essentially, I had the same access to the stage as like a roadie, and
Sure.
And Justin was like you idiot, just don't buy the concert T-shirt, like because you always wear black, you're gonna blend in. So I immediately buy the concert T-shirt, and I was like, no roadie is going to. And so I'm in shorts and like the concert T-shirt with my lanyards, and I'm just clearly like a guy that got a lot.
You're a fan.
Yeah,
that clearly is back there.
And Justin's from England, so this was like a big homecoming, and his brother Jim, who's like a big record executive, and his whole family's there, and so it was being such close friends with Justin. It was really neat to. So I was like sitting with his family watching everything, but every band would get like 15 minutes, and I would either go stand and like lean on an amp or like lean on one of the carts and watch them from there, or there was this little balcony where you could go stand, or I would go in the crowd because I wanted the crowd experience. But even that, you're in like the VIP area, and so Steven Tyler's singing and like spitting on you, or it was wild.
That's insane, dude.
But Youngblood. We walk in, and it's I have a video of us all walking in, and I'm like, and like Youngblood had just started his set, and then it was kind of like, well, yeah, let's try to go back there, and it was a sea of people. Instantly, everybody got lost, and then I was like, well, I'm just gonna go try to see where I can stand. So I go stand, and when Youngblood was doing, I'm going through changes. Like I was just standing there, like Forrest Gump in the background of everything in Forrest Gump during that montage.
Yeah.
And I remember he got off stage, and I it wasn't like I was the one that greeted, but I was like, I was like, man, I think you're about to go through changes. Like I just said, like a comic being witty.
Yeah.
And I remember he had like 230,000 fans, and by the end of the day, it was like 3 million. And like
Wow.
he blew up like that. Just I was watching a moment that I'm like, this changed that guy, and now he's the new face of metal and rock, and he isn't making any money because he can't afford a shirt, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it was wild just to witness that moment, and then I rejoined with the group, and then we went and got the concert merch, and but yeah, it was such a crazy
When
experience.
Ozzy came out, was it wild?
Yeah, so I have a story from before that, and then I'll tell you about the Ozzy part of it. So we went to this mixer the night before, and imagine just like Metallica is there, and Pantera and Slayer and all these guys, and it's a jazz mixer. So there's like a jazz band playing, and they're excellent, and all these musicians, and Justin's wife Shelly is just taking me around to everyone and being like, hey guys, this is Pete. This is Justin's best friend. He's a comedian. You need to know him. And then she just like leave me with Metallica, and I'd be
That's
like,
hilarious.
I'd be like, I know you don't want to talk to me, but everybody was so cool, and so before the concert, I kind of got to know a lot of these guys, and I had been backstage and met a few people through Justin, but it was kind of like, oh my god, we're at this little mixer, and I got to meet everybody. Well, I didn't expect like Ozzy was not there, obviously, because he was, he was not feeling very good.
Sure.
And before that, he had COVID. Then they didn't even know if he'd actually be at the show. Mm-hmm. And then it was like 2 weeks before. He was just so frail that they're like, well, maybe if he can come out there and sing one song and people sing with him. So all the, like James Hetfield, Maynard, all the guys, they were pretty much planning on singing Ozzy's set with him. Or if he even was in the middle of a song and his voice bailed, they were just there to take over and
so cool,
walk on and do it cool like a cameo. Well, so I was like, all right, I got to meet all my musical heroes. I'm not meeting Ozzy. So it's funny. I talk about drugs, and I'm not a big drug guy. But when I do talk about them, I talk about it openly, and that's caused rumors to happen that I started, basically. But I talk about these specific instances.
Sure.
So did I do drugs at Ozzy's last concert? You're goddamn right I did. And it was funny because Norton and Florentine, they're sober, and I kept running into them. I was like, you guys, I'm whacked out of my mind. I was so happy, and
that's so great.
I was on booze, mushrooms, and cocaine. It was wonderful. It was the perfect mixture of everything. It was.
I was going to say, you don't have to say, but why not?
No, I like that.
It's the perfect mixture.
But again, that's why people people will talk and they'll be like I'm whacked out, and I'm like, no, I've done them. I'll do them again, but you got to pick your spots. And you got you get like anybody that I know that's a rock and roller.
Yeah.
They'll be like, yeah, do drugs, but don't be an idiot. Like pick your spots and be cool, dude. And but so I'm if you're watching this and you're hearing me be candid about this, just please know that if you hear the rumor, you're an idiot. But also, like, why would you go to Ozzy's last show and not do cocaine? Like that is, it's like you're at dinner, there's chicken, you need white wine, like this,
right.
But so
you're not gonna go to a fine Italian restaurant and not get a nice glass of red.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to do this. So anyway, I'm on mushrooms, and I've been drinking whiskeys, and I was like, all right, like Tool's about to go on, like I definitely, like, now's the time to tap into the cocaine. And so I'm going to the bathroom, and I, which by the way, like a real person with a problem would be like doing it for breakfast. And I was like, all right, it's 3:30. Right. I'm gonna do my cocaine.
Yeah. The set's about to start.
I can't wait. It's like the movie's starting. I'm gonna get my popcorn. I'm not gonna put too much salt on it. And I was like, I'm gonna do a couple of toots, and then I'm gonna go watch Tool. And by the way, it was lovely. And I'm using a British term. It was lovely. But so I go to the bathroom, and it's just all Ozzy security is there, and I'm like, oh, this is weird, because I'm like, I have cocaine, and I'm on mushrooms too, and
so they're a little paranoid.
So I was like, do they know about the cocaine?
Sure.
And this giant this giant dude comes over, and he's American, and he goes, hey dude, I'm a big fan of your comedy. I was like, oh wow, all right, this is better than them shaking me down for my cocaine. And he goes, can we get a picture with you? And so I get a picture with all Ozzy's security. I go, what's happening? And they're like, Ozzy's coming. And I go, oh, so I need to get out of this little area. It was one of those porta potties with the little staircases.
Yep.
And the guy goes, no, just go in, and like we don't know when he's like coming. Which, by the way, they have radio. They know when. Like, he was like a minute out. So I'm in the giant porta potty thing, and I'm in the stall, and I'm doing my little toots or whatever. And by the way, even when it comes to that, like I have a joke about that I microdose it. Like I do, like a little bit goes a long way.
Sure.
And anybody, all the rock and rollers that I know, they're like, don't be that guy at the party. Like don't be
wigging out.
Just a little pinch and a scotch, and it goes a long way, and it's wonderful. And then you go to bed by 1, and it's great. But anyway, so I'm in there, and then all of a sudden he had this like grayed out Bentley, like there's blacked out cars. It was like grayed out, and they hit the bottom stairs of the porta potty, and like but like so I'm trying to do the thing, and then the Bentley SUV like hits the stairs, and it like rocks it, and it like spills my cocaine. I was like, damn it! And so I had to do another one, but I'd already done one, and it had like kicked in, and I'm like laughing to myself on mushrooms, on coke, and when they hit the thing, I go, what the fuck is Ozzy driving? Like is what I said to myself. I made myself laugh. I was the only one in the bathroom. I was like, good one, Pete. And I do the other thing, and I walk out, and I'm at the top of this bent staircase.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, the car just like bent the staircase, and I'm like, how do I? And then the big guy that took the picture with me, he's literally lifting Ozzy out of the car and putting him in like one of those like wheelchairs, and I was like. Should I go back in? Should I go back in? And he goes, no, Pete. He goes, just stay there. I'll come get you. And I was like, it was the car was so into the stairs that I was like, am I gonna have to like crawl on top of Ozzy's car and like roll off? And he's like, no, I'll come get you. And I hear Ozzy being carried go, who's Pete? And I'm like, he said my name. Yeah. And the guy goes, Pete's a comedian. He's stuck in the bathroom because your driver hit the stairs. Did not think that was gonna be how I meet Ozzy, and then so the guy I go how do I get that, and there's like a metal railing, and I'm like how do I get out of here, and he goes, just lean over the railing, and he's such a big man, and like I'm like 6'1", probably like 230, and this man picked me up like how you pick up a child when they're like, I don't want to go, and you're like, no, you're going
from like under the arms.
Picked me up from under the arms and lifted me over the railing and down, and he kind of sets me next to Ozzy, and Ozzy's laughing. He goes, did he just pick you up like a child? And you gotta understand, I'm mushied up, I'm coked up, and I go, did he just pick you up like a baby? And we shared a laugh.
That's awesome.
And I go, hey, I won't bother you. I love you. Bye. And it was just like, what a delightful little like happy exchange.
That's so great.
And he looked really good. And so I'll tell the Ozzy part real quick. So I go with Justin's family to watch Ozzy, and I didn't think it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be rad. I didn't think I was gonna cry. So he goes out, and he's supposed to do one song, and all the singers are like, we're in like the VIP tent, and they're like, dude, like they're all nervous, like to see like James Hetfield kind of nervous, like, oh, I gotta sing with Ozzy. And then we're in the VIP tent, and then all of a sudden we just see that Ozzy started, and we're like, what? We got to get out here. So imagine standing with all these great singers, and then they're like, wait, what? He's already, and then so they're kind of standing there with their dicks in their hand, going, what do we do? And then I just went with Justin's family, and when he got out there, like you just saw it on his face, that same feeling that we have as stand-ups sometimes, where you're just having a bad travel day and you're like, I don't know if I can do this right now.
That's right.
But I have to do it. And he has that look on his face, and then he starts singing, and you can see him start to feel like, oh my God, I can do this. Oh my God, I'm good at this. This is like my last concert's going to be okay. And you see him start crying, and everyone in the stadium is just like crying, and there were times where his voice would go out, and the whole crowd would just sing for him.
Oh, it's amazing.
And we're crying, and like everybody's arm in arm, going, "What is this?" And then he does the one song, and we're like, "Okay, he did the song," and then he does another one, and he keeps going, and they literally have him like from the back, like harnessed into the chair so he doesn't fall out.
I saw clips, yeah.
Yeah, and he's crushing it, and he's crying, and everybody's crying, and then he winds up doing 8 songs, like 8, and you could just see that he's like, this is it.
Yeah, he's letting it all go.
Yeah, and then we go back to the VIP tent, and then it was supposed to be like all the singers were going to do a tribute, and then again they were like, what the fuck? He's starting. Ozzy came back out, and he did another full set.
Wow.
And so the big guys that were supposed to do it for him never had a chance to do it with him, and it was just so beautiful. And I remember standing there with Justin and his brother and his sister and all his cousins, and we're just like sobbing and so happy, and it was the coolest experience. And then they shot off fireworks. And Justin turned to me. He goes, we look so fucking lame crying like this is a stadium that they shot off fireworks so no one would know we're this big of pussies.
That's
it
great.
was so great, but yeah,
dude, that's great, man. That's, you know what, like if you're gonna see an Ozzy Osbourne farewell concert, I don't know if they could have done it better than you.
Yeah, that was
because my best one is not that. My best one wasn't my experience of being a part of it. My best one was Oasis at MetLife.
Oh.
Okay, now, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That was fucking, like, me and my brothers, both of my brothers, my younger brother's in Idaho, he couldn't make it. My older brother, Christian, and I went. And we always had talked about it if Oasis was going to come back. And when they were doing MetLife, we were like, we got to do it. Shout out to Chris Italia, who actually got us the tickets. Now, we didn't do cocaine, but he brought sandwiches from this Italian restaurant. Listen, you're doing mushrooms and cocaine and drinking and doing whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
He brought these Italian sandwiches on focaccia bread from a place that started in Florence, Italy. Okay, so it was as good, like, because we're like in the parking lot.
The cocaine of sandwiches.
Yeah, dude, like we're drinking like Surfsides and seltzers in the parking lot, and then he shows up. My brother and I were like, dude, I'm hungry, and Chris goes, don't worry, I'm bringing sandwiches, and he brings these Italian sandwiches, and the sandwich shop started in Florence, and he brings them, and dude, they couldn't be more delicious. So we go. So that was our version of cocaine.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Dude, we go into the stadium, dude, and like they were so good.
Yeah.
And Liam was so good, and Noel's solo songs were so good, but they were so good. But then even songs that you didn't know, which is only a handful,
Yeah.
everybody just loved, and they did. I think it was 2.5 to almost 3 hours. They closed the last 2. They closed with Wonderwall, and then they closed with Champagne Supernova. But everything leading up to that. And by the way, Noel, I didn't realize how good he is alone.
Yeah.
And his solos. And I'm looking at my older brother, and he even like hit me up 2 months later, and he just goes, "I'm not over that concert." Like that was the best. And dude, I've seen Jay-Z in Albany, SUNY Albany. I saw Snoop did a private one on an NFL draft night. That what they did was, NFL draft night, they took the top 10 NFL picks. It was at Cipriani in New York, and just their family and friends. So, Pete, there's only 300 people there, and they go, Snoop's going to do a private concert.
That's crazy.
And they go, dude, we don't know if he's going on, dude. It's like 1 in the morning, and everybody's been drinking. They go, he's laid out, passed out, high as a kite. And then all of a sudden, they go, oh, he's going to come on. Dude, 1:30, Snoop Dogg comes on, high as a kite, and does all of his hits, and fucking murdered, and it was like for 300 of us. So those were like the real memorable ones.
That's amazing.
But if I had to say like what show if I had to lose every show and just have one, it'd be Oasis.
So I didn't see that tour. That was the I kept having shows on the nights that, like, anytime they'd be even near where I'd be at on tour, I'd have a show the same night, and I thought about canceling shows to go see Oasis because I wanted to see that show so badly. And and living in New York, and like just the fact that they were there, I was like, So I'm so glad that you had that experience. I wanted to see that show so bad.
Well, I heard that 27, he had to do something with his throat, I think. I don't know, but Liam posted something, and he said, we're going again in 27. So I think that they're going to do another one. I don't know exactly where. Another cool one I saw, and then we'll do the plugs. I want you to plug everything.
Yeah.
And there's so much more with Pete. We are kind of strapped to time, but Pete is so funny. He just did his 10th Tonight Show. Also lost his home in the Pacific Palisades, and then just fucking like strapped on your fucking came to New York and figured it out.
Yeah, it was crazy. I did the Tonight Show the next day, and it wound up being great, and the clip went super viral, and my tour sold out. So it was like I lost the home and I lost all this stuff. But like it wound up being great, and then comedically I was getting slow in LA, and I needed to move back to New York, and so it was serendipity. But, and then this 10th Tonight Show, I went on and talked about going on the Tonight Show the day after, and I kind of roasted Jimmy a little bit, and the crux of it was that like if I were to have gone on Ellen's show or Oprah's show, they would have bought me a house, but he gave me a coffee mug. I was like, thanks for the coffee mug, millionaire. And then I was like, don't get me wrong,
funny,
I broke the roots during the segment. So Questlove, like he broke on this joke. It was so fun. It was the highlight of my life, I think.
No, it's so great.
I go, don't get me wrong, Jimmy's so friendly. I go, someday when he gets to heaven and he meets Jesus, Jesus is going to be like, Jesus.
Oh, I saw that.
That's the one that broke. And so it was so fun. And it felt like a full circle moment. And I've done so much like psychiatry, like I have a great psychiatrist. I've done so much mental health, and it's really funny to me. Like I'm really doing great, and like life is so awesome. And then I get people that they saw me when I wasn't good, and they're like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing great." And they're like, "You're coping, aren't you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm doing good." Life is the best.
But because that person's not doing great.
Yeah, that's
what sucks, because somebody sees you go down, and it really does suck that misery loves company. So like in their mind, you're always there.
You're so right.
But winners and people that are just going to fight through keep going up, and people don't understand that.
Yeah, they don't understand it. I get this a lot. We've all been worried about you. I'm like, oh, then that means you've been gossiping about me. Yeah. Like that means you've been talking, and like the stuff I've heard about me. I'm like, oh my God, that's a good story, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And
you know what? I'm thinking that I hope you're doing well. How about that?
Yeah, I always go. They'll be like, can we talk, man? I go, there's no conversation I want to have less, but I love you, and I'm gonna move on. And I call it kicking you while you're up. Yeah, it's been happening lately. Like I'm feeling so happy, and then people, hey man, I call it the hey man. Yeah. It's so funny, but anyway, I know I'm
doing a bit on my special about how I cut those people out. But the last thing I go, because we do got to go in a minute. I saw Wyclef Jean by himself at Vassar College, and he played the national anthem on an electric guitar with his mouth.
Oh my! He's so talented.
He flipped it around and he played it with his mouth, dude. And I was just like, some people like when it comes like music, like when it comes musically, are just so nuts. But we are we're gonna do another. We got to do a concert part 2. We are strapped for time. Plug your stuff. Plug everything.
All right, I'm here to promote the movie 72 Hours on Netflix. I'm not in it, but I just want. I just saw it. I have several friends that are in it. I want to plug it. I used to have a bit about Greenlights, the book that Matthew McConaughey wrote, and I did it, and then people would bring his books to my show. So or to my live shows. I would do a Greenlights book signing at my shows, another man's book. Honestly, go to YouTube. Please watch the Tonight Show set. I just did it. It's my favorite one that I've ever done. Also, follow me on Instagram at Peatley. I couldn't get Peatley, so it's my name 3 times. And that's all I have to plug. Just please watch me on social medias.
Yeah, check out Pete. Guys, go to the Paul Virzi YouTube channel, click subscribe, and you could get all of Paul's best podcast, full length and clips. And you get them anywhere you get your podcast. You get this podcast at Apple, iTunes, all that. Rate, review, leave a comment. It moves the show to the top. Guys, September 10th, I'm going to be in Boston. I'm going back to Laugh Boston. I haven't been to Boston in 5 years. Tickets are going. Get tickets to that. October 9th and 10th, I'm going to Janesville, Wisconsin. There's a new club. They asked me if I want to run my hour there. It's called the Comedy Cabin in Janesville, where you're from.
It's amazing. The guy Nathan that owns it is awesome. It's like an A room in my hometown in Wisconsin. It's awesome.
My agent hit me up and was like, hey, there's a small venue in Janesville. I was like, where's Janesville in Wisconsin? He told me. And then when I saw you today, when I saw you coming on, I was like, oh, you're from Janesville. But I'm going to be at the Comedy Cabin for 3 shows in Janesville. Nashville. October 9th and 10th. October 11th, I'm at Helium in Buffalo. And right now we just added, I mean, so many dates are coming through the fall and winter, but we added a New Year's show in Philadelphia. Go to paulvirzi.com for all of the information, the tickets, all that stuff. Subscribe to the show. Pete, we're going to do more concerts next time you come on.
And please, for my tour tickets, go to petelee.net.
Go to petelee.net for Pete's, paulvirzi.com for mine, and we will see you next time on Paul's Best Podcast. Take care.